1, 2, 3, 4.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Kangaroo, they all nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world.
Across the Universe is in standard tuning. Here's my E. Here's my A. Here's my D. Here's my G. Here's my B. And here's my high E. So if you're using an electronic tuner, it should bring your guitar into tune with mine. Okay, so the first chord is a D chord. That would mean you have this string open. First finger is on the G string on the 2nd fret. The third finger is on the B string on the 3rd fret. And the middle finger is on the high E string on the 2nd fret. So if you play those notes along with the open D, it should sound something like, it's your basic D chord. It's important to look at what the right hand is doing. Again, it's the 3rd finger would be on the high E string. The middle finger would be on the B string. And the 1st finger would be on the G string, and you'd basically do that motion. So if you put that together with the chord, you would get, with your thumb you'd play the D string, so you'd go, do that again. Then that's followed by a slide up to this shape, and that would be the 1st finger would be on the 10th fret on the high E string. Your middle finger would be on the G string on the 11th fret, which will give you that chord there. In order to get to that chord, you do a little slide. So I'll play it slowly. It's a sliding motion that's important. One more time. Once again, I'll do it really slowly for you. And the D string rings again after that. I'll do it one more time. Which is what followed by the 2nd sequence. So the 2nd part of that introduction would be this sequence. It's a really simple plucking kind of motion. Really simple shapes as well. Your 3rd finger would be on the 9th fret on the high E string. Your 2nd finger would be on the 9th fret on the G string. and that gives you your first chord. So once you've got that chord, you literally pluck the strings. You then move down 2 frets to there, and then following that, the third shape of that little sequence would be your first finger on the 5th fret on the high E, and the second finger on the 6th fret on the G string. So give you that shape. So if you put those together, followed by a hammer-on, followed by the 7th fret on the B string, which would be that note there. So you go. If I put all of that together, one more time, really slowly. As far as that slide is concerned, it doesn't really matter where you slide from. I mean, I prefer to slide from around that, halfway up the neck. Obviously the most important thing is you hit these 2 notes. So I'll do that one more time, really slowly. And that's the first phrase of the introduction. Then the last part of the intro is a little bit awkward. It's basically an F sharp bar chord, F sharp minor bar chord. I'll play that for you. But obviously the way it would work is that you would have you bar it across. So your first finger goes across all of those strings on the 2nd fret. Your second finger would go on the 4th fret of the A string. Your third finger would go on the 4th fret of the 4th fret of the D string. Sorry, and your smallest finger would obviously stay open. And if I play that last phrase for you, so you can get some idea of how it sounds. You notice that all the fingers stay in place except for your little finger, which is going on and off the 4th fret on the G string. So it would go off, on, off, on, off, on. So you can get an idea. You've basically got an F sharp minor bar chord with that melody line going on underneath it. So okay, one of the most important things is to remember it's all down strokes. If you watch the right hand, it would be. So you do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 8 times if you're counting in 8th notes. Then the last chord would be it's really simple. It's basically an A chord. So you've got open A. Your first finger would bar across those 3 like that, and you would basically with your ring finger do the same thing, the same pattern. So you've got that same melody line going. So it's. So if you just play the last phrase of the introduction, you've got. Now if you notice that the thing that is consistently throughout those 2 chords is that idea, the only thing that changes is a chord. So if you play the intro right from the top really slowly, got your D chord. Remember it's all down strokes. And that's it. So the next bit, which is the start of the verse, again throughout the entire song, it's all down strokes with the right hand. It's important. It's down, 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 So your first chord is D, which I showed you in the introduction. Again, downstrokes on the D. One thing I would say is slightly tricky about the song is the constant chord changes. So yeah, you get 4 kind of downstrokes on each chord. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The next chord is a B minor bar chord. Really simply, your first finger would go across those 2 frets. Your third finger would be on the 4th fret on the D string. Your little finger would be on the 4th fret on the G string, and your second finger would be the 3rd fret on the B string if you put those together. So if you've got the first 2 chords of the first verse with D, B minor. The third chord is basically an F sharp minor bar chord, which we saw in the introduction. Slightly easier this time, in as much as you just literally bar all of the strings with your first finger. Your third finger goes on the 4th fret on the A string, and your 4th finger would go on the 4th fret on the D string, which would give you that chord there. Again, downstrokes. So putting it all together. Except you'd stay on the F sharp for twice as long as you normally would, so it would be should obviously give you the first 4 bars. The next chord in the sequence is basically an E minor chord, so you've got open E, first finger, 2nd fret on the A string, second finger is 2nd fret on the D string, and you'd obviously have those open. That would be your E minor. It's slightly different in this case. Your 3rd finger would go on the 3rd fret on the B string, which would give you that chord. Gives it a kind of slightly jazzier kind of tone. And again, it's the same downstrokes with your right hand, like so. So if you were to put all that together, you would have the next chord would basically be an A 7th chord. So you've got open A, 2nd fret on the D string. You'd have your G string open. Your 2nd finger would play the 2nd fret on the B string, and you would have the E string open for the first part of the chord. So it would be going from the E minor chord before. Then what you do, you would put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret on the E string, and that concludes the first half of the verse. So basically, if you were to count along with it, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it starts again. There's a slight, ever so slight difference. This time, the second part of the first verse, it would be D, 2, 3, 4, B minor, 3, 4, F sharp. Again, sewing it for twice as long. You've got your E minor. Again for 2 bars. And the last chord, instead of going to the A, which was what we did last time, it goes to a G minor bar chord. which is easy chords. You've got you bar all of those with your first finger, third finger on the 5th fret on the A string, 4th finger on the 5th fret on the D string, which gives you that. So put it all together, change. Remember to stay on the F sharp for twice as long. E. And that is the end of the verse. I'll quit. Once again, I'll sing along with that so you can get an idea of how it goes. Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Thoughts of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my opened mind, inviting and inciting me. Right, so the chorus would be, you'd have a D chord, and I'll play the chorus to you anyway so you know how it sounds. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next chord, A chord, you got open A, your biggest finger on the 2nd fret, like so. Again, you've got to keep that downwards motion going, so it would be the last chord in the chorus is a G major chord, 2nd finger, 3rd fret on the E string. Your 1st finger would play the 2nd fret on the A string, the D string would be open, the G string would be open, your 3rd finger would play the 3rd fret on the B string, and your 4th finger would play the 3rd fret on the E string. So let's run through that chorus. I'll sing along with it so you know how it goes. A. Nothing's gonna change my world. So you say on that for 6 bars. G. Nothing's gonna change my, and then back to D. So you know G for okay. So obviously you can get the lyrics off the internet. Those chords, the verse chords, are repeated through the 2nd verse and obviously the 3rd verse as well. And after the 3rd chorus, basically just holds on the D chord. And obviously it fades out. Right, really slowly. I'll just run it through it for you at home. Try and play along if you can. I'll play it a bit slower. Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my opened mind, inviting and enlightening me. Nothing's gonna change my world.
Nothing's gonna